Escapade Hour is about a human and a dog on their quest to save those in need. Much like that show about Pancake, a lot of the shows on the Discovery Channel were made with this as an inspiration. The human is the only human in the land because the world was destroyed by some war. He was found by a dog couple and raised as one of them. His main ally is a dog brother who can stretch like he's that one nigga from One Piece. He's a goofy bum who has like a backup for the human. Also, the dog has a unicorn wife and like 1,000 lame ass kids, but who cares? Also, there's some Game Boy that lives with them. The heroes frequently visit the Candy Nation, led by the Gum Queen, who's like 1,000 years old or something. Speaking of 1,000 years old, is the Gum Queen's ex, who later becomes her wife or something, who is some vampire who used to be an op, but quickly became one of the good guys. Also, the main op of this series used to be the Iceman, who was a regular human, but then put on a crown and became a bum. But he's such a lame, nobody even takes him seriously anymore. He used to go around kidnapping princesses or something, but honestly I hadn't seen the show in a minute before recently, so I don't even know if he'd still be doing that for like half the series. And there's also some lemon weirdo that was created by the Gum, but he was off one, so he acts up in every appearance he has. Even though she bullied him in his first appearance, the Gum got tired of his nonsense, so she gave him a friend that looked just like him, but even that wasn't enough, so some more stuff happened, but I neither know nor care. The main characters looked up to some legendary hero called William, who was pretty important a minute ago, but then he got old and passed the torch onto the human and the dog, but unfortunately he couldn't rest easy because he was murked by the lice, who would have been the main villain of the show if not for the fact that he was so actually interesting that they couldn't dare keep him, because you know, the show likes to waste time. Even though the boy was the only confirmed human, one day he found a group of savages that had the same hat as him, so he thought it was a breakthrough. Most importantly among them was a big ass girl who they tried to teach how to speak, but it turns out they were all just mutes and fish niggas, so who cares about them. But then one time the boy reached into the big girl's hats, and it turns out she's like an actual human. Also, there was some fire girl that was on the human's dick or something, but she was low-key annoying, so they called it off. Also, there was some magic Martian that spent his time doing op shit to the heroes and various other nonsenses. It turns out he's the brother of one of the big guys on Mars, and they murk the dog because they think he's a magician, but then it turns out he wasn't, so the leader of Mars, who's also a former president for some reason, gives up his life to save the dog. One time the Iceman's wife found a way to get back to her husband, but then she ends up taking the magician's spot as a resident weirdo, so basically all hope is lost for the Iceman. Eventually, the niggas find out the human's real father, who looks like that nigga Robotnik, and is being held captive at a prison. Seeing as the boy is a hero, certainly it's impossible for his father to be an op, so the human and the dog go to rescue Eggman, and are immediately treated like shit by him. He tries to piss off once they meet him, and in the struggle, the boy ends up losing his arm. When they get home, they go on some more quests and stuff, and the boy gets an arm made out of plants that eventually becomes a whole body on its own. Also, his lame ass dad gets taken out of the way in one of the season finales. Also, the lice that was barely shown anyway got turned into an infant and was put in the custody of a pig and an elephant, among one of the lamest plot developments of the series. Sometime after seeing the failure that is his father, the boy goes on a quest to find the rest of the human race with the big girl and the dog. Eventually they make it to some island where there's a group of humans just chilling. It turns out the big ass girl is from this island and she used to be normal, but then some stuff went down and she had to piss off. Also, the boy would have been with the rest of the guys, but after he was born, his father was being chased by the feds and he had to get lost in a boat. Meanwhile, a plague went through the community and put a lot of niggas there on his shirts, as if the human race hasn't already suffered enough. But the boy's mom was able to find a cure, so all was well. But not really, because the mom still got put on her shirts and had to put her mind in a computer. When the boy met his mom, she tried to get him to stay on the island forever, but he's a vagabond at heart, so that would be impossible. And eventually she learned to let him do him. Also, there was that one time some rando was elected king of the Candy Nation because of some other nonsense, and the Gum Queen had to go low-key. But the rando wasn't fit to do anything useful, so eventually they had to go back to the Gum as their leader. Anyway, the show has been going on for a minute, and just recently, it had season finale, so now we're gonna go over it. So it starts out with two disgusting bumps doing nothing, when all of a sudden, some giant candy machine leaves an arm behind, so the nobodies visit a Game Boy, which tells them the story of the human boy. It cuts back to the actually important plot, and the Gum Queen is planning to go to war with her uncle that she created, because that's how it works for some reason. The uncle is pissed off because the Gum Queen took his idea for a candy city and turned him into a non-factor, so now he's trying to take over her country. And he also got a bunch of villains on his side, like the plant human. So right before the Gum Queen and the uncle engage in conflict, the dog throws a bomb on the floor, and it puts all the niggas in a dream place, where the plant guy decides to stop being an op. Also, the Gum Queen and her uncle work out their differences, but not really, because he's still off one. So the aunt manages to make him a non-factor again, and accepts the Gum Queen's proposal for 2 kingdoms. But then some monster comes out of nowhere, and says another monster that tries to put everyone in a shirt, and it turns out it was being controlled by the Iceman's wife. The magician tries to get the Iceman to fix the situation, but then somehow he and the human get trapped inside of it, and the Iceman and his wife go back to normal. Meanwhile, the main monster almost gets the Gum Queen out of the way, so the vampire gets in her feelings and slaps it. After this, it goes back to doing nonsense, so the dog tries to step up and gets hoed. Then the monster destroys his house, and he goes there and shrivels up, while the Game Boy picks him up and starts singing, which somehow repels the monster. Then all the niggas that remain start singing too, and it opens up a way for the human and the now normal Iceman to escape. But the Iceman's wife stays to become one with the monster in order to save them. At the end, the plant guy disintegrates and the main niggas go back home and see a sword planted in the tree. Then it cuts back to the future and the Game Boy finishes the story. So the two lowlifes go to find the sword and they pull out the tree. Whatever, the show's finally over. Honestly, I can't call the show trash because it has some really good concepts and it can be funny sometimes. On the other hand, I don't really like a lot of the humor, and the show wastes so much fucking time on random nonsense that nobody cares about, and it stretched on for way too long. There's nothing wrong with throwing in episodes that don't advance the plots, but at least make the episodes interesting. Thankfully it's over, and to be fair, the finale wasn't that bad either. Hopefully there won't be any spin-offs or sequels to further ruin the show's name. Okay guys, make sure that when you subscribe you hit the notification button, because that lets you know whenever I make a new video, and as always, thanks for watching.